David Allen, Las Cruces Keller Williams here. I've been hearing a lot of people tell me that they can't afford homes or that home ownership is just not in the cards for them. And I just want to show people that with a little bit of time and a little bit of knowledge, we can all actually get into our first home. So I thought I'd get a mortgage expert here, Mr. Tyler Black, to give us a little bit of insight. One of the main questions I keep getting is when should I start the mortgage process? How early is too early, or how much time should I start looking into what I should fix? So I thought I'd ask you, Tyler, when should they try to contact you, and what's the steps that are involved with that?
I think anytime that you're having that question, you should immediately just go and talk to a loan officer because just getting the process started as to being prepared, whether that has anything to do with your credit, with your down payment, different programs, things like that, I think you should just start it. Whether it's 3 months, 6 months, or 6 years from the time that you're going to purchase a home, I think you should go and talk to a loan officer so that way you can get prepared early.
Okay. And so when they do come to you, what kind of documentation are they going to need? What kind of information should they have for you ahead of time, just so they know what to have, ducks in a row before they talk to you?
I like people mostly if they're looking to buy soon to just basically have the general knowledge of like what their income is or bring in pay stubs or whatever type of income you have if you're getting started fairly soon. And then basically if you have any assets like bank statements or whatever the case is, then those are the main documents that we're going to need to kind of get you going from the beginning.
Okay. What kind of loan opportunities and programs do you have for people buying their first homes?
So, as a mortgage broker, we actually have over 100 different loan products that we have access to because I'm basically able to shop with 70 different lenders with all the different programs. So, the main programs that we hit on for first time home buyers are generally going to be like a conventional loan with a low down payment, like 3%, or even the 5% conventional.
Okay.
We also have FHA, which is a 3.5% down payment. And we also have down payment assistance in association with that FHA down payment to kind of help you get into the home. And then we can talk about different programs that kind of suit your situation if those programs don't fit your immediate needs. But those are going to be more of the ones that are generally going to fit most people's options.
Okay, and that's really good to hear because usually what you hear is you need 10, 20% down. And right now, with the prices of homes, people do think, oh, I need 20, 30, 40,000 saved. So it sounds like you can actually do it with a lot less.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, generally, $200,000 house, FHA down payment, 3.5% is $7,000. And like I said, you could get down payment assistance in association with that if you need it. It's always better to have the funds if you can, because obviously you won't have to get things like a second mortgage or anything like that. But if you need that option, we definitely have that because getting into the home and starting to build equity is obviously ideal.
Yeah, because rents are only going to keep going up. So you might as well get into something where you get a set payment and then you get to start paying off equity on your own home, right?
Exactly. And then you can always refinance later to get the interest rate down or whatever the case is. You're not always stuck with that rate. The price is more important because you're stuck with the price, but with the interest rate or whatever type of program you start with, you can always refinance that later.
Oh, that makes sense. And you guys do refinances.
Absolutely.
Okay, is that a hard process or is that kind of generally easy?
Refinances are typically significantly easier because you've already gone through a lot of the processes that you've gone originally through the purchase. So as long as you keep your credit relatively the same or continue to improve it, then it's typically a pretty smooth process.
Okay. Okay, so we talked about down payment. We talked about other options that you are offering. What kind of credit score are you guys looking for to be in the ballpark of buying a home?
Typically, the minimum credit score for like an FHA loan is about a 580.
Oh, excellent.
So that's not hard to obtain at all, and that gets you into the home with a 3.5% down payment.
Okay.
And if you're looking for like down payment assistance, you typically need closer to like a 640. But even if you're in that ballpark, come talk to me. If you're not and you need some help, I can recommend you to some specialists as well that can help you get that score going.
Okay. Okay, and then what kind of job are you guys looking for, or like job history? Does it have to be 2 to 3 years or longer, or is there other options that are out there?
So most loan types, you're going to look at your past 2 year income just to kind of see what your work history has been for the past 2 years. But even if you haven't necessarily been working for 2 years, there's different things that we can look at. If you've been working for like at least 6 months, if you had a gap where you worked for a couple years before, and you have a good explanation for that, then a lot of times you can still purchase a home. You don't necessarily have to have a full 2 years.
Okay.
Even people right out of high school have been able to buy homes because they can use their high school education as work history.
That's awesome. I didn't know that was an option.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Okay. So after everything's said and done, would you say right now is still a good time to buy? Because I keep hearing otherwise.
My biggest thing for right now, why it's a good time to buy, is rates are starting to trend down. And the biggest thing that you look at in economics is supply and demand. So the supply is there right now. We have supply where maybe it's more of a buyer's market where we're able to negotiate things like seller credits potentially to get the buyer's closing costs covered, which is awesome. Maybe people don't love the interest rates, but they have gone down quite a bit from what they have been within even just the past few months. So it is a little bit easier to purchase than it has been at least a few months ago.
Right.
And if these rates continue to go down, that supply will start to come down because the demand is going to be driven up. So it's going to make these house prices potentially shoot up a lot, which I think now is a better time to buy than later because you can always, we were talking about, refinance later to get a lower interest rate,
Can't change
get into the
price.
home while you have the current prices, and purchase a home now.
Okay. That's solid advice. Thank you so much, Mr. Pfeiffer.
Absolutely.
Thank you for meeting me.